Hi, it's another vlog for the 20 of you that love my vlogs. So today is going to be how well do I know my reading taste, and I have had this idea for quite a while, but I have decided to do it with all new to me authors. And something that you should know about me, new to me authors, is that I am about 50% likely to DNF each and every one of these books. Yeah, there's a higher than normal average for DNFs. A lot of my DNFs are new authors because, you know, I don't know if I like the writing or not, and I check it out and I don't. So I have quite a few books, and we will just see how many I get through, what I finish, what I don't, all of that. I'm going to include all of the new to me authors that I currently have checked out on Kindle Unlimited. I'm excited for it. We will see, maybe I'll actually read and complete like the first 3 and then we'll be done. But chances are good we're gonna have like 5+ books and DNF half of them or more. If we're being honest. So this is what I've got. All right, I have One Week in Paradise by Anise Starre. She is a disgraced influencer, goes on a paid trip. Let's move you over here. Why not? She said in Jamaica, she's really happy. She's not in a relationship though, and it is a relationship trip. So fake dating happens, and it's her brother's best friend. Somebody made me want to read this book, and I don't remember who. Then I have One Look, which this was also a Twitter one. This is a single dad. This one I definitely got from Sil at the Book Voyager, I believe. And this one, she gets paid to cry at a funeral, and he's like a single dad, and he's a retired NFL player. Then I have Captured by the Orc General by Charlotte Swan. It's Monstrous Mates #2, but I think that they are completely unconnected. Then I have Only If It's You by T. Lynn. This I definitely got from Tama at Shades and Pages. I think Aries Reads also did an edit of it maybe that looked really good. He's a boxer, and what is happening? Okay, they're married, and I'm not sure if it was a Vegas wedding based on this or not. I've heard really good things about it. I don't remember what specifically, but definitely good things. And then Marrow by Trisha Wolfe. Bree on Lemon Words has had Trisha Wolfe on my radar for years. I haven't read it because I'm scared. This is actually a co-authored book, so it's also by Brynne Weaver. They're 2 rival serial killers, one common enemy. He is a forensic anthropologist. Dun dun dun. Do I know what that is? A criminal human scientist? Is that what those words mean? Dr. Kyrie Roth. She is a wildlife biologist. She's also a serial killer, and she knows his dark secrets, yada yada yada. I specifically wanted to read this because of a TikTok that I saw where it was talking about how he's walking through the woods with like his dead body or whatever, and then the sunshine like rival that he has is waving at him with the arm of a dead body that she has, and I don't know, something about that just sounds like the most fun time I've ever had. And I have Let's Get Textual by Teagan Hunter, which I want to read because of Stephanology Corner and Robin at Paperbacks and Planners. And I know Izzy at Happy For Now has also been going through their like backlist, but they just have said that it's delightful, you know, bantery, fun. They have a wrong number, flirt connection. And I have You Saved Me. Where do I have this on my want to read list? This is another one from Robin. Honestly, we did a live show together and they like added books to my TBR, so that's where we are. And this is by Roslyn Faulk, and this is a male black love book. His best friend's brother is like in the FBI and doesn't know that he's at the cabin and pulls a gun on him, and then like things are happening, okay? So it's like a romantic suspense. And lastly, also because of Robin and Steph, or at least Steph, maybe just Steph, I'm sorry, I don't remember. I have Stunning Disposition, which is Mental Hawks #1 by Deanne Gray. Now, I do have a little bit of a caveat on this one, and I want to talk about it. Here's the thing. I think in a lot of cases, if you want to be some sort of ally to, you know, any group that you're not a part of, silence is often what's required of you. Like, you're not the one. You're not the one. Zip the lip, shush, like other people's stuff, share other people's stuff. But generally, a lot of times, you don't need to be speaking over people. You can just support without, you know, making your own content about it or whatever. A lot of times, silence is a good option. It just is. That's a little, a little side tangent. But so this book is a darkish, I think, why choose hockey new adult romance. Is it why choose? I don't know, but I do know that she lives with like 4 different guys, and she also is like getting to live there for cleaning the house. So it's one of those things that when you add in race differences, you're now in a different context, and what works in this context might not work in this context because of history and all the other things, right? The other thing with this book is that the Black main character is not really represented as Black well on page. Like, she's not really described. There's not like a lot going on. And that's the thing that I personally kind of do dislike, because one, I have a hard time seeing characters, so it's really helpful if you do go out of your way to remind me of what they look like. But then also, I think it can have some issues, right? When you have people who want to read books but they don't really want to be reminded that the book is about a Black person, you can have a lot of issues. A lot of that can be the author, a lot of that can be the reader, but it remains that it's a thing, right? So all of this was kind of brought to my attention on Twitter, and I was like, maybe I will just take off my TBR. And I actually did. Then the author responded, because the reviewer directly reached out to them and asked them. And the response was great. The response was really well done. It basically said, I know that like I didn't do a very good job with it, and like I'm kind of sad about that, and I have improved, you know, in the second book, and all of the critiques are honestly very valid, and like I understand. And I was just like, yes. Yes. And obviously I wasn't the only one though, because again, you're talking about a Black author writing a Black character, and you have Black reviewers that are talking about it. So whether or not I'm like, oh yeah, that's a great apology, doesn't really matter. However, not only the person who reached out, but also other reviewers that I know and trust were really happy with that explanation and that response. And because of that, I felt like maybe I would put it back on the TBR. Now, that doesn't mean that I won't do nothing. It's certainly not the only book that I've read where I was like, we're kind of ignoring the fact that this main character is Black, and that honestly adds a lot of, you know, because it's like a dark romance, and it's like, I don't know about this. Again, usually I just don't say anything. It might be kind of reflected in my rating or not, and it might be reflected in how much I recommend that book, but generally it's just, I'm not the one to talk about it. So, but this one, I just kind of want to let you all know that the response was really well received. And that's all we're really asking for any author, you know, take feedback and respond accordingly. And I know for me, and I know the reviewers who, you know, we're talking about this specifically too are so good about this. But like, I am not going out of my way to cancel a Black woman author. I'm not. So I'm definitely willing to, you know, read it and continue the series and all of that. But that was a lot to say that this book is on my TBR. Then I do have one more book that's not on Kindle Unlimited, but I want to talk about. This already is so long. Okay, and then the Jasad, Heir by Sara Hashem. This is a fantasy book that I have an arc of because of Lena. I'm a WOC reader, so thank you so much to her and her taking care of me. Here's the thing. I'm in the second chapter right now. I'm on the 20th page, and I was watching the lovely Jasad who read an arc of this book and was like, it's fine. And then was like, I don't really like when a character is, you know, like the long lost heir, and it's like, I don't want to be the long lost heir. I'm not worthy. And I was like, oh, I don't like that either. So now so now I'm like struggling to try and get into this book because I'm just like, I don't want to listen to you whine about how your people deserve someone better. I don't know. Why? Because I'm 20 pages into it. I've heard a lot of really good things. And Shauna has single-handedly dampened my enthusiasm. Nonetheless, I refuse to not read this book because Vina got it for me. So I feel like putting it in this vlog will help motivate me to actually, you know, be picking it up. So this is a full-length video intro, which is not what I want for a vlog at all whatsoever. So we are going to cease talking immediately.
Well, it is that same evening, and I've already DNF'd 2 books.
Alright, so we had that huge intro, and I didn't even do the part that is how well do I know my reading taste and predicting how things go. So, here it is. You have it. I have it. Together. We are both looking at it. So I think that Marrow is going to be solid. I don't really consider DNFs. It's undoing my ranking because I think I'll DNF any of them. I really think I'll like Marrow. And then one look, let's get textual, sunny side, sunny disposition. 1 week in paradise, only if it's you, the Jasad Heir, you save me. The one I think I'm the most likely to DNF is Captured by the Orc General. I always want to like this type of book and I never do. So that's where I think, that's where I think they'll fall roughly, but I think at least half of them will be DNFs, and like if it's the top half of predictions that are DNFs, honestly I still consider that as me being correct. The other thing about this is it does not matter the results of this or any other experiment that I conduct to see how well I know my reading taste. Nothing will convince me that I'm not right about every book, whether I've read it or not. Nothing will convince me. I am infallible in my own mind on whether or not I think I'll like a book. So that's it. That's what I think is gonna happen.
So we are here to talk about the first 3 books that I've DNF'd in this vlog. So the first one is One Look. I was enjoying this. There's some really funny parts. I would say it's kind of embarrassing, secondhand embarrassment, cringy rom-com stuff. There is a dementia with a parent. The author did include that in their content warnings, which I am very grateful for. But I was reading along and, you know, I was liking parts and disliking parts. The writing is good, but I was not really caring about the relationship, so I DNF'd at that point. Maybe 25% in. Then immediately after that, I picked up Captured by the Orc General, and then 11% in, I put down Captured by the Orc General. The writing is the relationship is the interactions are she's all like, no, I can't tell you why I'm going to the orc fortress, and I was like, all right, cool, I'm done here. I don't know, it was all right, probably a 3-star at best. And then after that I DNF'd only if it's you at a measly 2%. So this man beat someone to death because, well, no, that's a lie. Mostly to death in the ring because he was mad. And then he has like multiple women on the roster, just like his father does. And his father is super misogynistic. Like, a lot of it. And he has these women, and I was just like, you know what? I don't need this. I don't need this. I could live without it. And so I did. I proceeded to move right along with my life. And that was probably not a fair chance, but ask me if I care. I don't. I'm happy with my choices over here. So there you have it. I picked up 3, I DNF'd 3, all in the span of one evening. Surprising no one.
It's the second day of the vlog, and I am on book number 4 or 5, depending on if you're counting the Jasad Heir. So the Jasad Heir, I read another couple chapters. So moving along, we had a little fight, a little murder, if you will. So that was fun. So I think I'm done with chapter 3. And then I'm reading 1 Week in Paradise, which I think I also might be done with chapter 3. The brother suggested that his best friend accompany her on the couples trip, which is cool because I love when the brother is not like an issue in dating the best friend, because it's so annoying and so misogynistic. And also, why do you have a best friend that you don't think would be good for your sister to date? I don't know. I can't stand it. But no, it's his idea, so this is good. I'm just gonna eat my Mexican leftovers. It's just very exciting because my husband last night was like, I want Mexican. And that man never wants like regular Mexican food. I'm the one. He's Taco Bell. But anywho, so that was exciting for me. So far I'm liking this. Also, I'm sick because my kid, I think, got me congested. So that's unfortunate. We're gonna have to help my parents tonight in the heat outside. So, you know, but book 4/5. Books 4 and 5 are going smoothly as of 3 chapters, which we're gonna call a win compared to everything else. Alright, I'm 46% through this book, and this girl is so oblivious and also won't let anyone finish a sentence, and also just like assumes that she knows everyone's motivations and all this, and she keeps saying all this dumb stuff about how it would be so nice if he wasn't just being nice to me because I'm his best friend's little sister and he's just doing his best friend a favor. I'm like, you literally made this whole scenario up in your head and you won't let anyone, not even your man, but anyone on this trip finish a sentence or tell you like any of the things, and it is driving me up the wall. It's too much. We deserve better.
Hello, I feel like hot garbage. It's the next day, my congestion has kicked up a notch, and I feel like death. I'm not cut out for this life. It's like 10 o'clock in the morning, and I just got up and got a cup of coffee. Got some kids who still need food cereal. God bless children who can turn on their own screen. God bless them. Life changing. So this update is for Week in Paradise, which I gave 3 stars. Maybe should have DNF'd it. It was not great. I can't tell what was the main character annoying me and what was the author annoying me. But like, this girl would not let anyone finish a sentence. There was no communication throughout the entire book. None at all whatsoever. I think it might actually kill them if they communicate. It was 80%. They finally had a full conversation where they told each other things. So basically, she was a really successful influencer, and then a 45-second video came out that she was the other woman, and apparently this is just enough to ruin her entire life. It's not. This is where I'm not sure about the other, because, like, she makes this girl so obtuse because everything is in her POV. We're seeing everything through her eyes, but the author is, like, beating a dead horse, letting you know, like, really, really, she's wrong about this. And it's like, yeah, we got it. We got it the first time. You don't need to keep having this. So she's, like, convinced that her brother's best friend hates her. And of course he worships the ground she walks on. It's ridiculous. It takes them so long to have a conversation. And there's some other drama with other influencers and stuff. It was fine, but it was not good. Hi, I am on a reading sprint for Izzy and May's 24-hour readathon. And I have things to say. So yesterday I basically skipped out on this vlog. I am better today, so go me. But yesterday I read a book that was not part of this vlog. Ignore the chaos. And then today, I have updates for you. So I DNF'd. You Saved Me by Roslyn Faulk. I DNF'd this at like 5%, and it was because the writing was driving me nuts. Okay, I almost made it through his morning getting to work, but this man was like, my boyfriend's so hot, I should suck his dick. But I woke up with my stomach hurting, and I don't know why, because there's no real reason, but I need coffee, but I'm gonna be running late for work, so I can't do that. But I really want to suck this guy's dick, but my stomach hurts, but I'm running late. But my stomach hurts. But what if I take a shower? My stomach still hurts, but I need coffee, but my stomach hurts and I'm running late. And I kid you not, this man's inner monologue. We heard about his stomach hurting so many times in that first like 4% or whatever, and I just couldn't take it anymore. And then it said it again. It was like, my stomach still hurts, and I was like, all right, I'm done. I'm done here. Enough that. And then very quickly after that I DNF'd Sunny Disposition by Rian Gray, because he's a hockey player and he gets in a fight off after the game, and they kind of beat him to a pulp a little bit, and he gets amnesia, and he was supposed to meet this girl that he was texting. They were supposed to meet that night, and now it's weeks later, and he, like, you know, doesn't remember half the things. He doesn't remember her, but he was like falling in love with her, and of course it's gonna be the girl in the book, I have no doubt. And I don't love the amnesia trope at all. Who does, honestly? And then also, I really dislike, I don't know why, it just bugs me so much when they know each other from their conversation, and then they know each other in real life, and they don't realize that it's the same person. I know it's a classic. I hate it. I hate it. So I DNF that. After one chapter, it was like 6%. And then now I have been reading Let's Get Textual by somebody. Megan Hunter, maybe? Reagan Hunter? Teagan Hunter. I'm 61% in, and these two are literally the biggest dorks I have read about in a minute. They are the dorkiest couple ever. Such a nerd, she's such a dork. They meet because they have the wrong number and they're texting. So you have like a few chapters where you're getting like a lot of their texts and they haven't met or anything, but it was really cute. Their banter was really good. Dorky, yes. Funny, yes. Sometimes cringy, yes. Embarrassing, also yes. But like, I don't know, you just like feel that connection. You can see why these two would be so taken by each other, even just through text messages. And then of course they meet and they have, you know, amazing chemistry and all of the things. we're 61%. We're in the first sex scene, so go me. Yeah, I don't know. I just really like them. There have been a couple things where it's like, you didn't say that, and it's like, no, they did. They did say that. You already know this information, and things like that with the writing, it bothers me so much. I have such a hard time letting it go when it's like, I told you they were in class, so what do you mean you don't know that they're still in school? That type of thing just really annoys me. There's been a couple instances of it, but I don't think it's enough to take a Starre off, honestly. So I'm really loving it. I've laughed out loud. I have been making weird faces that my husband has been commenting on. I don't know. There's just something about the way that their interactions are written that is really, really fun. So I'm actually liking this one. All right, it's almost midnight. I just got off the sprint. I did finish whatever the name of this book is, something textual. 4 stars. There was a weird revenge porn thing at the end, and that was their 3rd act breakup and stuff. Not that like he did it or anything, obviously, because that would not be very forgivable. So, you know, caution for that, I guess. But one guy was a real douchebag. So, but yeah, generally speaking, I really liked it. It has cute baby goats. It has a couple of dorks. It has, you know, heartwarming weirdness. I love that for them, and it was a fun time. So I'm glad that we at least got a 4 star. Tomorrow there's more sprints and stuff, so I want to try and make a solid dent in this and hopefully pick up Marrow, and that is the end of our little experiment. I'm not 100% sure that this vlog is going to continue till like the end of those books, but we'll see what happens. Hi, it is a couple days later. So the last time I talked to you was Friday right before midnight, and then this is Monday afternoon. So I have finished my other books, closing the vlog. Here's my update. On Saturday for the 24-hour readathon, I used all of those reading sprints to finish the Jasad Heir by Sara Hashem. You can see I highlight just a couple different things. This is an adult fantasy. I would say if you are going into it for the Egyptian aspect, I, as someone who loved ancient Egypt, would not have been able to tell you that this was based on the Egyptian history at all. It is based in the last 500 to 700 years, which I'm not nearly as familiar with. So maybe if I was more familiar with it, I would recognize, but I didn't. If I didn't know, I would have guessed that we were based more in like an Indian or even maybe like Moroccan style, just based on what I know, which is next to nothing, right? This is a really tropey book, and I say that in like the best sense possible. It's not negative for me at all. I gave it 4 stars. I did waffle between a 5 and a 4 star. You are definitely a fantasy book, not a fantasy romance book. So we do kiss at the end of the book, and that's like it, but their relationship is pretty strong. It is enemies to lovers, is exceptional. You know, enemies to lovers tension, and our enemy, the heir of the conquering kingdom, basically, he is incredibly smart, and he is manipulative and setting traps for people and just cunning, and you know, his mind is running circles around you, and I love that type of character, and he was written really well. I really liked our main character too, even though she like didn't want to be the heir. That didn't annoy me nearly as much as I thought it would. It was really well done, really balanced. Overall, I just really enjoyed the book. I think that would be a really great one for people who are coming from young adult fantasy into adult fantasy, because there's not like a lot of graphic content of any kind. There are definitely some horrific things that happen, but it's not a lot. It reminds me of the Red Queen series. It reminds me of Throne of Glass. It reminds me of Shatter Me to a certain extent, but in its own way, in its own unique combination. I'm really happy with it. If you like tropey fantasy with a really strong enemies to lovers subplot, it's good. And the way that it ends, it obviously kind of ends on a little bit of a cliffhanger, but not one that's bad at all. Like, having to wait for the next book, I think won't be a big deal. I would recommend going ahead and picking it up and reading it if you're interested in it. It's not one that like you will immediately need the next book or you will regret having read it already. It leaves in a good spot. You clearly know where the story is set up for. and you have that, you know, angst of wanting to get there, but it's not anything mind-shattering. It's where you kind of figured that book one would end, right? Then I read Marrow by Trisha Wolfe and Brynne Weaver, maybe. And I gave this one 5 stars. I really, really did enjoy this. It is a psychopath serial killer and a sunshine serial killer. Our sunshine character, she is the survivor of another serial killer, and that's why she is now one. And she, obviously, shocking no one, is kind of a vigilante style serial killer and kills men who prey on women mainly. There are extensive content warnings listed at the beginning of the book. The authors did a really good job with the content warnings, so I would just recommend checking out their content warnings at the beginning of the book, and that will clearly let you know if you need to skip this book or not. It wasn't super dark, I'd say, as we watched 2 serial killers. I really liked it. It wasn't quite, I feel like there was something that wasn't quite what I was expecting with it, but I can't really figure out what it was. A really good time. I read that yesterday. I really thought about updating you so many times on Saturday and Sunday, and I just didn't. And I am still sick, so go me. Yeah. If you like psychopaths, if you like serial killers, if you like dark romance, it's that, and it's that well done. So let us see how my results of my expectations went. So if we take out all of my DNFs, the only outlier is the Jasad Heir, which I gave 4 stars. Like, that's not really a big deal. I think I would have put it a little bit higher without Jashanna's rating, which Jashanna's rating was accurate. And I will say also for the Jasad Heir, I know how it's pronounced, but I have to fight the mental battle each time. I will say if I read more fantasy, I think it would have been a 3-star for me also. But because I don't read a ton anymore, and it did what it did well, I enjoyed it. But I think if I was reading it constantly, my rating might be a little bit lower. So Marrow was our only 5-star. Let's Get Textual and the Jasad Heir were 4 stars. And When We Can Paradise was a 3-star. And I, you know, felt like I could DNF any. What I will say I'm surprised about is that we got through all of the books. I definitely didn't think that that would happen. It's because I DNF'd so many. Let's be honest with each other. It is because I DNF so many, but at the same time, I figured I would DNF a couple, read a couple, and be done. But we actually got through all of them. So 4 books read, 5 DNF'd. That seems like a average ratio for me, honestly. I think what we have found out is that I'm exactly right about everything and about my expectations, and like, I'm not surprised at any of this. The other thing I will say is, if you're like, what? You know, if you kept going, you probably would have really enjoyed those books, right? I have a 5-star, 2 4 stars, and a 3-star. And if I had DNF'd any of them, that would have been completely fine. It would have been completely fine. None of them are all-time favorites. None of them are that small handful of books where I would feel true regret if I had not read it. I enjoyed them, but I would have enjoyed other books the same. I would have enjoyed those ones too. So, you know, no regrets on the DNFs. Yeah, I feel like this is especially a kind of average sort of sample of new to me authors. I'd say this tends to be my result. So that's it. Let me know if you're surprised by anything. I'm not, but you know. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.